There's no saving this dude, man. Kazuya had me singing some Kanye West, you know what I mean? How could he be so heartless, you know what I mean? Alright, so where shall we start? Let's start all the way from the beginning. Kazuya hasn't had the greatest upbringing. It turned out that Heihachi's wife was the devil, so she ends up trying to kill him. If you played the Tekken 7 story mode, you know how that ends. So because of that traumatic experience that Heihachi had to deal with, do you think he A, nurtured his child how any parent should, or whoop his ass and chuck him off a cliff? I'll give you one guess. B, yes, he chucked his child off a cliff. That is crazy, man. As I said in the last video with Jinpachi Mishima, Heihachi might be the biggest menace of all, but Kazuya, he's up there. He's up there. I feel like Heihachi though, that's self-explanatory, but when it comes to Kazuya, like, people sleep on how devious he can be, I feel like, when you compare him to Heihachi or in the later games Jin. But you know what I'm saying? Alright, so after he was chucked off a cliff, you already know, he wanted his get back, you know what I'm saying? So Kazuya ends up surviving the fall. How, you may ask? It turns out Kazuya also has the devil gene. So from that moment onwards, he trains for years upon years upon years, up until Heihachi holds the King of the Iron Fist tournament. So in the events of Tekken 1, we see Kazuya defeating every opponent in front of him up until the final boss, which is Heihachi Mishima. He defeats Heihachi Mishima and then goes on to get his get back. Man chucks him off a cliff just like his father did. If you ask me, that's poetic justice. So with that being said, roll the credits. No. Did you think that was it? Now we're just getting into it, man. Alright, so Kazuya, he's got his get back. There's no need to, you know, go down the route that his father went. Am I right? Well, I guess I was wrong, because in Tekken 2, we end up finding Kazuya to be, dare I say, a worse person than Heihachi was when he was under Rain. So the boss in Tekken 2 ends up being Kazuya Mishima. But this isn't any Kazuya Mishima, no. Once you get to the end of Tekken 2 and you fight Kazuya and defeat him, you got an additional boss on top of that when he transforms into the Devil Gene. That's 2 bosses, man. That's crazy. Anyway, this time around in the King of the Iron Fist tournament, Heihachi goes on to wipe the competition, fight Kazuya at the end, eventually defeat him in both of his forms. So what do you think he does? He throws him off a cliff again. But how this time? This time, he drops him into a volcano. Did you hear me just then? A volcano! That's crazy, man. This family is nuts. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, Kazuya Mishima's Tekken journey has come to an end. Is what I would have said if it was any other gaming franchise, but these people just don't seem to know when to quit. As in Tekken 4, we see Kazuya make his grand return, with a little help from the G Corporation, but still, he's back, and he's looking for revenge. Now we really get into the nitty gritty of why I think Kazuya must be stopped. There's no saving him, I'm sorry. I got a bit overzealous, I'm not gonna lie, but I completely forgot to talk about Tekken 3. So in the second Tekken game, Kazuya meets a lady named Jun Kazama. They end up getting together and end up having a kid, which Kazuya doesn't end up raising, but that's another story, you feel me? He was unavailable at the time. But anyway, so Jun ends up raising Jin Kazama up until the events of Tekken 3, where Jun seemingly gets killed by Ancient Ogre. That sends Jin on his journey to get his redemption for his mother in Tekken 3's King of the Iron Fist tournament. Heihachi trains him up in order to give him the powers he needs to defeat Ancient Ogre. which is exactly what Jin goes on to do. So, Jin succeeded in his mission to defeat Ancient Ogre. So how do you think Heihachi rewarded him?
Oh my
With
God.
a bullet to the brain. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, scratch this video idea I had. Heihachi must be stopped. I don't know, man. Heihachi, this guy, at least Heihachi does it with some swag, you feel me? Like there's a certain charm to it. And I think the fact that Heihachi doesn't carry the devil gene, there's always like this, I don't know. He's always at a disadvantage, which kind of leaves the audience somewhat rooting for him in a way. That's just my opinion. But anyway, getting back on topic. He put a bullet in his own grandchild's brain. Who does that? But Jin, just like his father, and just like his grandmother before it, Jin also carries the devil gene. Jin ambushes Heihachi and escapes. Now we can talk about Tekken 4. So I'm sure one of the first things people will think of when it comes to the Tekken 4 game would have to be the intro. Check this out. That was badass, you feel me? That's why Kazuya is one of my goats. He must be stopped, but Kazuya is one of my goats, you feel me? Like, you're just too cool with it, you know what I mean? Anyway, man, so in Tekken 4's events, the story revolves mostly around Kazuya, Heihachi, and Jin, with their endings kind of being entangled within one another. But in this case, we're gonna be talking about Kazuya Mishima's ending in particular. So as the story goes, Kazuya is set to fight his son, Jin Kazama, in the King of the Iron Fist tournament. But it turns out Jin is nowhere to be seen. He gets a notice to proceed to the final of the King of the Iron Fist tournament against his father, Heihachi Mishima. Heihachi leads Kazuya into an undisclosed location where he finds Jin Kazama chained in the rafters. Now we have ourselves a little triple threat match, you feel me? We've got Jin, Kazuya, Heihachi. Whenever you've got that combo, things never end well, you feel me? Kazuya is seeing this as the perfect opportunity to become even more powerful than what he is right now. Because remember, he's got the devil gene, but he doesn't have full control of it. So he defeats Heihachi, knocks him out cold, you feel me? Hits him with this like force push right into the wall, knocks him out cold, he's done. Kazuya's eyes are glowing red. The devil has taken over his body, and he turns his attention to Jin Kazama. Kazuya ends up battling the devil within him and becoming one with the devil. He then turns his attention to Jin Kazama, awakening him from his slumber in order to defeat him and take the devil gene from his own son as well. So if I've got my facts straight, everything I just mentioned was canon up until this point. We're going to discuss Kazuya's ending because I think Kazuya's laugh in this ending is one of the most haunting things I've ever heard when it comes to video games, I'm not gonna lie. And that's impressive. Just watch this. So if I'm correct, this ending isn't officially canon. However, it's a haunting thought, you feel me? And it's somewhat true as well. Kazuya does get control of his devil gene. But in terms of the true ending, Jin ends up defeating Kazuya and is losing control of his powers over the devil gene because of the amount of anger and hatred he's feeling at the time, but ends up seeing a vision from his mother, Jin Kazama. Then we segue into the greatest Tekken intro of all time. crazy, man, crazy. Like, I'm not gonna lie. If I went through everything that Kazuya went through, I would leave Heihachi too, you feel me? He deserved all the smoke. The only thing that I didn't like about this scene was that the fact that Jack was in it. I'm not a fan of him. Out of every Tekken character, Jack is my least favorite. I do not mess with bro. Man should have been the one not announced for Tekken 8. I'm sorry. Why do I not mess with Jack? Because I don't know why. Whenever I play as him, he's ass. But whenever I'm playing against him, whenever I play online, or even just against the CPU, I get my ass whooped, man. Like, that's why I don't mess with bro. He's a fraud. Maybe in Tekken 8 I'll try him out again, but I don't know, man. He's booty to me, man. I don't mess with it, bro. I don't mess with him, man. He's boo-boo man. He's boo-boo ass, man. I'm sorry. I don't know how else to tell you. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day. Let's get back on topic again. So, according to this Tekken intro, Heihachi, he's dead. Kazuya turned on him, as a Mishima would, and he's seemingly dead. Turns out Heihachi is still alive. You cannot kill the Mishimas. I'll be real with you. Tekken 5 is the reason why I wanted to make this whole video in the first place. Because Kazuya, he was on one, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this was where I was like, this man must be stopped. There's no saving him. So we discussed Jinpachi Mishima in the previous video, and a lot of the stuff that I wanted to discuss about him revolved around Demon Jinpachi. But as I said in that video, Jinpachi Mishima, the man, he seemed like a cool cat, you know what I mean? Like, he seemed like a W grandfather from what I know, but I'm sure if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. But Jinpachi, he seemed like a cool guy, man. Like, he seemed chill to me. But Kazuya, man, just watch this ending and tell me you won't be in the feels by the end of it.
Jisa. Jisa.
There's no saving this dude, man. Kazuya had me singing some Kanye West, you know what I mean? How could he be so heartless, you know what I mean? I can't believe he did his grandpa like that, man. Like, we saw a little flashback to when he was a child. They were just messing around, chilling, you know? Like, seemed like they had a good relationship. And we can't even blame the Devil Gene this time, because as we saw in the Tekken 4 ending, he's gotten a hold of that. So, you know, this was a Kazuya decision. This wasn't a Devil decision. Like, I don't even think this was a joint decision. This was Kazuya himself going, you know what, to hell with you, and hitting him with the punch of the century. No, man, he did not have to do my boy like that. I'm sorry. Maybe you could make the argument that he was trying to, you know, put Jinpachi out of his misery, but as we all know, man, Kazuya only loves one thing, and that's power. That's all he loves in this world. He is the most heartless character in the entire franchise, I must say. So, what he does in Tekken Tag Tournament 2 won't surprise you either. This man is greedy with it, you feel me? All he wants is power. That's all that comes to his mind. Kazuya, man, like, where's your heart? Where's your soul? You know what I mean? Like, where's your compassion? That's your girl. That's why I think whatever Jun's role is in Tekken 8, there's no saving Kazuya. That's all I know. My prediction is she will be either a flashback character or she's just completely on Jin's side, like, because we all know there's no turning Kazuya back to the light side. Jun Kazama's only way of helping Kazuya will be to temporarily drain his devil gene in some way. Like, that's the only thing I can think of, because apart from that, there's no saving this man. There's no saving him. It's too late for him. In Tekken 7, that is the game that Heihachi and Kazuya come to blows for the final time. And this story mode, in my opinion, it wasn't a 10 out of 10, but the way they wrote the story around the supposedly final encounter between Kazuya and Heihachi, father versus son, in this capacity, I think that was phenomenal in my opinion. And I feel like that was the last of Kazuya's human side that we will ever see. Because even he, as he throws Heihachi into the lava, seems like there's like a moment where he's really dead. You know what I mean? Like, even he can't believe it. Yeah, man, that was a crazy finale. But after that, I feel like Tekken 8 Kazuya will be on something different, man. From what we saw in just those trailers alone, this man is the kingpin of the universe, the kingpin of the world. He's got everything that he wants. I feel like Tekken 7 was Kazuya's big victory. I think it's certain that we're going to be getting that Jin Kazama, Kazuya Mishima battle at the end of whatever the story mode is, but who will win that battle? If you've got any predictions, let me know in the comment section below, but all I know is that Kazuya Mishima must be stopped. It's just that simple, you know what I mean? Anyway guys, be sure to like, share and subscribe. And until next time, Chi video.